So, very good morning. And we have the Flojo of India, Miss Ashwini Nachappa, today in our fourth episode on sports in education, where she's going to give us some beautiful insights about how sports can actually, contribute a lot in holistic development. So, it's a privilege for me to actually introduce her. And I've been a big fan because she's personally been called as Flojo of India, and the way she used to carry herself. And these were the best set of athletes where we had Miss Ashwini Nachappa, PT Usha, Shiny Abraham, all of them like the shining stars, and we've never seen another set of athletes in those ways. I mean, from those days till today. But nevertheless, she's not only been an athlete, but she's also been an actress. And of course, that's a beautiful side which we're going to listen to her. And today she's also an educationalist where she runs her own school. So that's the best part. So, ma'am, a warm welcome to you. And thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Dr. Shanti, for all those kinds words of introduction. Really honored to be on your podcast.
Thanks, ma'am. So, I'm like, because you come from various, backgrounds now, from the where you came from Kolkata, then you came down to Bangalore, you studied in Sacred Heart. And I still, in one of the conversations you've had, I remember you saying that those Paris chocolates actually motivated you, right? To start your running. Actually, you never thought of being an athlete. And then you said, I never want to lose, so I really want to go forward. So if you could share some of the lessons that has really cultivated some great value systems into you, where which every person could actually listen to it and resonate with it, some good great memories which has made you as person was what you are today, and still in the sports fraternity nobody could forget you.
Thank you. So, if I reflect on my journey, I think as a young child, I've always wanted to win, whether it is a three-legged race or whether it is, running for chocolates that I started off with. It has been an intense desire right from a young age to be the best. I loved running, and I probably think my name Ashwini also means a horse, so probably I was meant to run. It just so happened that uh, when I started running, you need motivation as a young child at the age of 8 and 9. You need somebody to motivate you, to incentivize you, even if it meant a 5 rupee 5 paisa sweet. Is just that the ability to appear on the track every day, not knowing where that journey takes you, and having traveled that in my early ages without even thinking of the Olympics, is just pure joy that really took me onto the field every day. Of course, my mother was another motivating factor because she never let us play on the streets. So it was always after school, go to the Country Stadium, which was close to us. So it just so happened that, uh, you know, the joy and the thrill of just running, the freedom that it gave me on the track was enormous, self motivator for me to carry on. So I think in hindsight, there have been many lessons that I have learned as an athlete, right from a young age, is to adapt to every situation, uh, to take on multiple challenges, because in those days we didn't have money, we didn't have spikes, but yet the deep desire and the hunger in our belly really allowed us to pursue our track and field without the outside world, though we had many challenges outside of our track, uh, really bog us down. So it's been a great journey, and I think for every child who gets that opportunity, it need not just be sport and anything, whether it's education, music, drama. Uh, the encouragement that one gets at home and from their early on masters is what propels the young child to pursue a particular field.
Thank you. Thank you. So it's like, irrespective of what it is, if the child is passionate about it, so you say that it's good, the child can they need that encouragement and that consistency, and also create that environment around. I remember you also mentioning in one of the interviews saying that my mom is always used to tell me to go and run in the track. I mean, be in the, in the track. So, not, and you carrying, taking the dog along and just walking around there with your sister. But that push is what is required, I think. So, this, takes me on to the next question. It's like, but now if you see, if we had badminton coming up initially, and then we had all the best badminton players. So everybody's parents like, oh yeah, yeah, go into badminton, and that was a huge rush. And now today is chess, irrespective of thinking on all those people who have achieved and they have gone through their own journeys and likes what they have. So for me is like, how do you see, because even we have obesity, we have children going through the puberty very early, and even parents going through so much of stress. So how do you think, like, sports plays a very vital role in the holistic development of a child?
For me, I think sports offers multiple benefits that's far beyond just the physical fitness. And I think for every child, it is the right to play must be taken very, very seriously. Uh, and it all begins when they are in school, right from the kindergarten, whether it is playing in mud, whether it is swing, developing eye hand coordination, basic agility. I think all that depends on how uh, education and sport is integrated into the curriculum. And I think that is very important because by playing sport, one not only stays fit, but the mind and body are in sync. It is
Very true.
fitness of the mind and body. It also creates you know an awareness on your health, gaining weight. Right now, you just said the kind of obesity that we have, young children's diabetes, stress, mental health. Everything is taking a toll in the environment that we currently live in. And I think schools have a major, major role to play in developing that holistic educational curriculum through sport.
Thank you, ma'am. So, because, yeah, what I've seen through my experiences as well is like any child who plays a sport, there's no question of looking at, stress levels, or looking at, they could manage their anxiety. And that also brings in a lot of teamwork, build a team. And also, as you mentioned previously, how you could adapt yourself and bring in quick changes into yourself, right? So,
Yes, I think because when you are competing or when you're on a field, like when we were in Sacred Hearts, I was part of the school basketball team, hockey team, athletics team. You
wow,
just had to play for the team. And that
yeah.
really develops that kind of fellowship, leadership, inclusivity, respect for another player. It brings about discipline because we didn't have buses those days. You had to walk. We all walked to school, 2 kilometers
Yeah,
or three
yeah,
kilometers to school. So all of us would be there in school by 6:45, 7 to finish our training. So and it was just a PE teacher who did all this, but who brought around. Uh, I'm a product of school sports. I think, back in our days, the school sports used to be like the Olympic Games, and every school,
yeah.
whether it's Bishop, Baldwin's, Cluny Convent, I mean, you name the schools in the vicinity, everybody had a robust sporting program, and it was a pride to take part for our
For a
institution, be
school.
it hockey,
Yes,
be it basketball, be it any sport, we were there. And
yes,
that
yes.
goes to just to see that principals and the physical education teachers were in sync, and they knew the importance of sport.
Yeah, yeah. And it, as you said, like, there were schools like, waiting for the competition and seeing which school is doing well, and that full teamwork. And there used to be cheerleaders, you know,
Absolutely,
right?
absolutely.
And
Because our
coming up
grade
and
7, 8, 9 who weren't part of the team, teachers would bring them to the stadium to just cheer us
Yes,
on. And every school did that. It's not just my school. Every school did that.
every school.
And it was a
Yes.
brilliant atmosphere to be performing on.
Absolutely. And I don't see that, those kind of things that are happening because I mean, the playtime for students and of course, some schools don't even have a playground of late. And even if they do, the thing is sometimes they say, oh, we need to finish our portion. So P is taken as the last thing. Okay, we'll take up a PT, your PT time, and then we would finish up the portions. And then you don't see that even the physical training educationalist having a great career or feeling very motivated to come to school and all that josh, feeling that yes, I am an integral part of the education, is not taken up so seriously in the current scenario. Until maybe few schools could do that, but the majority of them, it's all about scores, it's all about or it could be indoor sports and it's all about AI. So, I mean, like, how could you think that even in terms of the institutions, the school leaders, or the physical educations and the government policies, and you've seen a holistic thing actually as of now, right? So, what do you think that some quick measures that could be taken to bring about few changes?
I think what's happened is there had been a lull in developing school sports to a great extent, including us, schools that we all came in from, because academics overtook every aspect of the child's, journey. It never was about mind and body. It just became that you just uh, enhanced knowledge sitting in front of a computer or the gadget. So it's just about 90 plus marks, and so the rat race of being the 90 above became so much, and then the tuitions. So everything, I think, took a toll on young children. And that's why you see the number of you know uh, cases of obesity, diabetes, and mental health is the next big disorder that
Yes,
everybody is
yes.
talking about. But
Very
I
true.
personally feel that if heads of institutions really believe that along with their health, every child's health matters, things
Yeah.
would be different. and
Yes.
and they are the ones that drive it. It's not the PE education teachers can put up a program, tell them that this is a plan, but unless the principal and the team accepts that plan and says yes, it can be integrated, it can be an interdisciplinary activity. Also, you learn math, but you also learn math on the field. You do
Yeah.
physics, you do biology, but it's all played on the field also, and you learn simultaneously. So if they think in that manner, it would be much better. But I'm happy to note that in the recent past, even the ICSE board has really now tightened the noose on the schools to send teams for their regional events and the zonal events. uh, but it's still a challenge for
Still a
principals
challenge.
uh,
Yeah.
to like now when we organize a district championship or an inter school, it takes a toll on us to just keep writing to the physical education teachers, to the principals, to please field a team. It shouldn't
Ah,
be the case. It shouldn't be the case. When it's announced, there should be children, their teams
coming
ready.
in. Yeah,
It's a
participating.
day-on practice. It's not just when there is an event. So it has to be part of your curriculum, and that, uh, as I said, the pride in being part of that team.
Yes, very true. That was my next thought, like, because you have been part of the various committees in sports. And so it's like, how are you seeing the kind of participation, what used to be before and what you see now in the current scenario? So how many people really enthusiastically participate? If you could, and maybe how mindfully even we could push this as a policy and see what can be done.
Sadly, Dr. Shanti, policies are all on paper. It's
Papers.
about implementing.
Yes.
And something that is so close to us, to every citizen, is their physical and mental health. And how can one not take it seriously, whether as an individual, as a parent, as an institution? And I think most of it lies within us. With the policies, can we tweak it to suit the infrastructure that we have? A sport, it can. Even a chess player, it's not necessary a chess player just sits on the chess board, but to be sitting for a number of hours on that chess board, one needs to be fit,
It,
and that fitness comes through mental fitness, through physical fitness. So you take Pankaj Advani, they all think it's Q sports, you just have uh, playing pool over there. It's not. He runs 10, 12 kilometers, he is fit, he goes to the gym, he swims. So that's the kind of overall fitness one develops, to be mentally fit. You can't just be sitting in one place. And I think even for children, you cannot confine young children to just your table and chair within the classroom. There has
yeah,
to be movement, there has to be intervals of movement, and only then that the child will develop.
yeah, very true, ma'am. That's so true. And ma'am, like I also have another question. Is like, see, could parents also be a kind of role models because mothers are also going on a toll, saying, yeah, I need to be overly taking care of my child. Can I drop the child? Do I come back and take care of the household thing? Or if she's a working mother, then she has a work burden. So, somewhere down the line, it's my own personal learning as well. Fitness and also, having weight loss is totally different, maybe. But having that consistency, if the parents could actually walk the talk in making that little time to take care of themselves. So, looking at that, even children would learn because in my house, Satish himself is a bodybuilder. And so he has actually brought in a little bit of discipline into like, okay, what you should eat, what you should not. And it's regular workout has become a kind of a routine at home. Either you do it in the morning or in the evening if you have to do that some activity, either. So
Yeah.
do you think that also plays a very important, I'm sure that must have inculcated in your family as well.
My
So
parents were never a sports person. I mean,
ha,
in Cook, they all used to, walk to school, run, and that was all that they did. But then,
yeah,
uh, to understand the benefit of sport, not being a sports person, but just to surely, I mean, to just sheer encouragement and motivating your child to just appear on the track every day in itself is
was
good.
a great thing.
And I think today's parents, of course, the challenges are so enormous today compared to our days where we would walk everywhere. Today, you have gadgets. Today, you
Gadgets.
do, the traffic menace. You have the infrastructure is dying. You can't even run on the road. Uh,
Yes,
but the running fraternity is growing in the last decade or more, and is just only increasing where young parents are running. But
yes,
if that can be taken, you don't have to do with the child every day. But I think for every parent, it becomes necessary to actually see the talent or the skill that your child has. Do we make that time to even recognize that talent?
yeah, anything with anything what they do, that makes a very important role. As you rightly said, the same school which I was walking up in my childhood, I really had to, take an auto or keep a spare, van actually for my children to go from my residence, the same residence in which I grew up, the same place. I have to take an auto or arrange a van for them to get picked and dropped. But we were able to walk, and that was the best activity. And as you mentioned earlier, so things have changed. Maybe we will also have to be a little innovative in our thought process to see how we could actually induce this kind of, a body and mind going together, and that would actually solve many more problems as of now. Ma'am, like, what do you think is currently, an institution that you've spoken about, and we've spoken about parents. So you run your own school, right? And what are the kind of small things that you have brought in some changes which you think other schools could adopt, some of the best practices that you could share?
Uh, See, for example, today is the Olympic Day, International Olympic Day. And so
Okay.
rightly, we're talking about sport and the
Sports.
values that
Yeah.
sport brings. So today we had a triathlon which started at 6:45 in the morning,
Oh,
and
lovely.
our day boarding students who had cycled up to about 5 kilometers. Then the teams, I mean, they had house teams. It was all split into two or three teams, of each house. And then they had swimming, and they just completed their 5 kilometer run after that. Now, this is not
Wow.
possible if I, and it didn't come from me. It came from our team of PE teachers who, and the principal agreed to doing it. And it was so exciting to see young children being brought by their parents to take part in this. Uh, I think what is important is to demonstrate uh, yourself the importance of health first. And being in a
Mm.
campus in our school, we have about 870 students from Montessori up to 12th grade following an ICSE co-education system. We also have good infrastructure, which, because I'm a sports person, we also have a sports foundation inside the campus. So we have a synthetic athletic track, we have an astroturf hockey field, we have a
Wow.
gym, we have a shooting range. So children, irrespective of how whether they are part of the team. And for us, selection begins by the time they're in fifth or sixth grade, including shooting. Every child goes
Wow.
into that shooting room and tries and shoots. And based on their ability to appear on the shooting range every other day to just try it out, we rope them into the teams. It's also about our players who are in the state and national, SGF teams. Right now, currently, three of my shooters are in Delhi, taking part in the India trials. But teachers come back and do a one-on-one session with all of them
Oh.
so that they don't miss out sessions. So, unless you're able to balance for the child, you create that environment that the child can balance both. Uh, every parent is willing to do that. But my challenge is, when I see across Bangalore and in my own institution, is by the time they come to the 10th or the 12th grade, parents are very, very fidgety. God, sports
Yeah.
cannot do anything to them. I personally would like to advise all parents, and I tell that to all my kids who are really talented in sport, is till a degree you can give it a chance. If you don't make it till degree, then you can specialize in one or two, the lines that you choose from. But till degree, I think, one, if you're talented and skilled and you're already achieved at the state and national level, must take that risk of pursuing it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's
That's
that's the kind of environment all our teachers are grown up with. You see, it's a campus of almost 28 acres, so everybody is walking. Our entire time, we hold the Coog Marathon on September 1st week. The volunteers are our teachers, and every water station has our teachers and our children. It's not manned by anybody else. The entire program is, with NEB Sports. We just connect with them, and all our volunteers. It's a practical class for our seniors.
oh,
So that's how
lovely.
seriously we take these. That builds a lot of confidence. That builds a lot of leadership skills. Children take on responsibilities very well. You just have to give it to them and encourage them and create that awareness.
Yes.
They're all willing to
Yes.
do, but provide them that platform to do it.
Yes. And I mean, do you see even the coaching environment, like be it in Bangalore or anything? Do we have some good coaches, or do we still lack those people, those kind of dedicated coaches that what you used to see in the earlier days? Or do we have such good coaches? Or
I
maybe
think
like people
coaches,
are also demotivated coming down to coaching because students come, attrition levels are high.
I think coaches are available. Coaches are plenty, because now in our days we didn't have to pay any money. Coaches just did it because they thought you had the ability to do it and encourage. But today it's also become a means of earning a
Ah,
substantial amount monthly, whether it's badminton, whether it is golf, whether it is athletics, whether it's any sport. You pay and use. But the problem is, how many real good coaches are available? Are we building that base for PE teachers to become good coaches? Are we
Yeah,
building good coaches, or enhancing skills of existing coaches to make them better coaches? Because sports is
very
science.
true.
Every day it's developing, every day it's
Yeah.
changing.
Yes.
You've got to adapt to new ways of training. So unless we do that, it's very difficult.
Yeah. So maybe that needs to, you need to have a mentoring for coaching, and then the coaches become that passionate kind which can actually deliver better,
There
understand
are
students
different
better.
levels of coaching.
Okay.
No, there are different levels of coaching, and I think even in ICSE, from the council, there are, like, you have seminars and sessions for
For
chemistry,
the,
math, bio, all
yeah,
that. You also have for physical education,
physical
so which is
education.
good.
Good.
Yeah, which is good. So PE teachers, principals should make it mandatory for them to enhance their skills and to demonstrate it through
Yeah,
programs in their respective schools, depending on the infrastructure that one has.
one has. Wow, it's so amazing to listen about your school and the marathon. I can just visualize it, but I would love to come and see it sometime because the way you were
Most
mentioning it,
welcome.
the teachers taking part and the students volunteering, and Coorg is it's a huge hub of, giving birth to so many passionate sports people. You will never see a house without a sports person, is what I believe in, with whatever little bit I have seen.
Yeah,
I'm either
that's
into
why the
hockey.
family hockey tournament and the family cricket tournament thrives, because we have over 300 Kodava families in each of these tournaments taking part. So,
Oh,
there's always something happening all the time.
yeah, yeah. And they've never given up, ma'am. And even till today, if you see, there is somebody coming out from there. So that's the best part about Coorg, I feel. So
Thank you
thank you
so much.
so much. But just to sum up with all the conversation that we've had, one is from the passion of what you've come up with, and also the way how you looked at institutions and, playing a part, and also about PE teachers and the government, of course, as you said, the policies are there. We need to implement it with great spirits to move it forward. I hope and I wish that we have more and more participation of schools. You don't have to write many letters, but then there is an event where we look forward for, and where enthusiastically schools should come. And I hope we could develop, listening to this, I hope every institution develops that culture to make, or if they have not, at least make a start to say, yes, we look forward for this, and it's a great pride for our institution to be a part of that sporting event. And when they also advertise about school, saying we've got 98%, 100%, whatever, there should be one advertisement saying we have the best sporting people from our school. I wish that could happen. So that could be a great
Yeah.
game changer, is what I feel. And thank you so much, ma'am. Is there anything else that you would like to add on and sum up? And because the way you told a message to the parents as well, so you need to encourage, and it's very important for parents also to create that me time. So
Yeah, I think for every institution and for every home, uh, parents need to be the role models, and institution heads need to be the role models. So I just hope on this very, very auspicious International Olympic Day that uh, we are pursuing a life which is integrated, sports integrated into our education systems, because every child's right to play must be taken seriously. And I hope we all join together in ensuring that the future of our country is in mind and body fit.
thank you, ma'am. That's wonderful. And I hope this can bring in a lot of change. So
Thank
this has
you.
been a great start. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you.